Oh, we're live. How are we doing, guys? If there's anyone in, guys and girls, hope we are all well. It's not working. That's not working. That is working. Maz is what? Hello, Maz. Hope you're enjoying your lovely holiday. Them cocktails looked amazing. I'm jealous. That's all it is. Jealous. I'm jealous, Maz. I was only joking what I said the other day. I would never block you. From hot turkey. Oh, we're having a bit of a heat wave ourselves. A bit of an Indian summer. Can't see myself. It's not quite the same temperature as what you've got, Maz. Oh, what's going on with this? Come on. Evening, Lee. Evening, Mikey. Don't you send me a picture of you by that pool with a cocktail in your hand, Maz.
Right. Hello, everybody. Wait. Right, let's get that going. Are you ready, Paul?
I am good to go.
Everybody ready? Let's go. I haven't even got my book out. It's now time for you to sit back, chill, let your mind deepest, darkest parts of your brain. Let Ross take you to the unexplained. Good evening, guys, and welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained, live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome along, everybody. It's nice to be here. Nice to be, well, let's just say on a different planet for a couple of hours, shall we say, tonight. Let's start off by saying a massive thank you to the wonderful Philip Solomon that's taken us through the last hour over on Pulse Talk Radio. Thank you for that lovely build up with Mystic Paul Kent. We love that. Keep it going, Mr. Solomon. We do love that intro. It's something that will stick now for the rest of time. But no, it's lovely to hear your voice, Paul. Philip, great stories as always. I managed to catch quite a bit of the show tonight because things were going a bit awry. So I had to do things before the start of the show. Didn't know we was going to get on air, but you know what? We've got on air tonight, which is good. Share the feed. I think we're all right. I think we've gone live, haven't we? People are obviously seeing it somewhere along the line. But where would I be? We've got the lovely Mr. Paranormal Paul with us.
Hello, good evening. How are we all doing?
I am well. I'm well. We're smiling. So that's the main thing. We are smiling.
Soldier
on. But I don't know if the notification's gone out. Let me know if you've got the notification. Let me know if you can hear us. And everything like that. Because you know what? I don't know if it has or not. It's one of them things every time. Let's see. The internet is running really slow tonight. It's really slow. We've got Maz in the chat. We've got Lee in the chat. We've got Mickey in the chat. Evening, everybody. Share, and go from there. Boom, boom. That was a play on words, wasn't it?
Poet, and you didn't know it.
I am a poet and I don't know it. I know it doesn't look like it's come up for me at the moment, but not to say it hasn't. Not to say it hasn't. Oh no, I lied to you. I lied to you. It has come up on my Facebook, but does it do anything? No, it don't give me a notification anymore.
No,
It doesn't give me a notification anymore. So, well, then, let's crack on with the show. I'm very discombobulated at the moment because of things that have gone mad tonight. Natalie is watching. Hiya, Natalie. We haven't really got anything to talk about. We was going to touch on the Amaga Hummins or whatever, the Omar Hummins. We've had UFO crashes, witnessed UFO crashes, haven't we, within the United States? So I think we've got a bit to talk about, and we'll just crack on with the show tonight. But the first thing we have to ask everybody, Mr. Paranormal Paul, how are you doing tonight?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. I'm a bit tired, but I'm all right. I'm going to push on through. I think what it is, see, because my daughter started her job and she works late now, I'm picking her up. And I'm usually tucked up nice and cosy in my bed by 9 o'clock during the weekday because I get up very early. And I'm not getting into after 10, like, you know, and I think it's having a bit of an effect on me, mate. So,
your body clock's got to change.
Yeah, I've got to adjust it.
It's got to adjust to it, and it's a different way. You know, when you get in, you know, I do shift work, so it's always different. But certain shifts do certain things. I'm on the earlies this week, and it's always being up quite early. It's the middle I hate because I get stuck in traffic all the time.
Yeah, see, I prefer an early start, early finish. That way you miss a lot of the traffic.
I do.
You've got the rest of the evening to yourself, isn't you? Especially in the summertime.
I do, but I do half get tired on the early shift, though. I do half get tired. You know, the alarm goes off at 4:15. You know, and it's like, ugh. And then, you know, you've done a full day's work before anyone's sort of even
getting started.
And dealing with I don't know if you had it yesterday, but the storms and the torrential rain that hit us last night. I was driving home in that back from sort of my partner's house, and I have never driven in rain like it. I was coming down the A13, and if I was doing more than 10 mile an hour, I would be lucky. And literally, you couldn't see through the wind. You couldn't see through the windscreen. You couldn't see it.
It ain't right, is it, this weather?
It's definitely not. It's definitely not right. It's not normal. I say I've seen torrential rain, but this is sort of like it's all I can sort of say. It's like a water dump, cloudburst. You know what? And it just dumps the rain, and literally you could feel the car pulling, and it's like I can't see the lines on the road, and you just can't see the car in front of you. Your windscreen wipers are just not going fast enough. But the weirdest thing was, it was really mild and warm last night.
Yeah.
When I got in the car at about 7:30, and my car was still saying 26 degrees at that time of light. You know, it was warm. It was warm. I had a t-shirt on. And I was like, this is so strange.
Yeah.
You know, we've got torrential rain, and prior to that, we had a moon that you could see, I know people are commenting in it. They're now seeing the moon, and it's been the most amazing
Super
moon.
tonight, isn't it?
Weird that, isn't it? The moon hasn't been there for weeks, but the super moon now comes in.
Yeah.
You've got, say, Lee's saying he can finally see the moon. We've got, I bet you missed the truck now. I did last night. I don't like being that low on the road. Lovely moon here in Turkey too. But yeah, last night's weather and lightning and thunder. Did you get the lightning and thunder?
No, I missed that. It wasn't obviously that far from me, but didn't have it over me last night. No.
God, the lightning was, and it was, is it sheet lightning where it just lights up the cloud? I didn't see any fault or anything like that. It was just
Right.
like lights up the.
See, again, that's not right for over here, is it? You know what I mean? I know. I think we're meant to be getting a sort of like that, the edge of the hurricanes and that from the west, and I think it's meant to be quite windy the weekend. But
Monday, I heard. Did hear Monday that something's happening on Monday.
Yeah.
So, never see any of this deep sleeper, me. It might not have made it your directionally. It was only about 7:30, 8 o'clock. It probably was about when I got to sort of the Canvey Island turn off, you know, the roundabouts at Canvey Island. It was crazy. And I mean, I was just looking and feeling my way around that roundabout. You couldn't see the traffic lights, you couldn't see the lines in the road, and you're thinking, I don't quite know where my turning is at this moment in time. But I saw it come in. So I literally driving down the A130 towards it, you could see it, you could flee the flashing. It was like boom, 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 boom. And then I thought, I'm going to open the window. I want to hear the thunder. And it was like, oh, that was a bit loud. So, yeah, very, very crazy. Weather was absolutely mental last night. Yeah, it was silly crazy. For what reason for, I don't generally know, but it's getting really, really crazy. But other than that, no, all good. We've got the lovely Heidi that has joined us tonight. Hello, Heidi, just come rushing through the door from my new place. Hope all is well with everybody. I hope you was rushing to get to the show, Heidi. I hope you was rushing to get to the show. Didn't want to miss it. Didn't want to miss it. But no, very weird weather. And now we've got the most beautiful supermoon out there that is lighting up the sky to the point that you can't see any stars.
Yeah. One extreme to another, isn't
it? Heidi said, yes, she did. She ran in for the show. That is true commitment. That's commitment in its highest. So I don't know what the weather's like over in Spain, Mickey. I don't know what you're getting over there. I've seen quite good weather over there. So hopefully you're getting nice weather. But we're getting quite warm weather. It's not cold here, is it? For the time of year, it's not cold.
No, and the weatherman on the weather app seemed to be predicting things quite well as well, didn't they? Because yesterday it was really overcast in the morning, and it said by 12 o'clock it will be brilliant sunshine. And we went out in the yard about 11:30, and I was like, I don't think so, mate. But lo and behold, we went out at 12, and it was brilliant sunshine. It's changing very quick, the weather, isn't it?
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah,
it is absolutely like that. So, but it is, you know, they reckon it's going to be heavy fog tomorrow, don't they?
Really?
Heavy fog.
Great.
Heavy fog tomorrow morning. Evening, Jane. Hope you're doing well. Nice weather yesterday. The moon was so close, almost like you could touch it. I'd say I saw it yesterday and it was lovely, but tonight it's high in the sky, and I'm telling you, they've definitely changed the light bulb in it. 100%, they changed that light bulb in that moon. because you can't look at it. It's like looking at the sun.
Yeah, wow. I'll have to go out and have a look at it. I haven't looked at it tonight, to be fair.
Well, for the first time during this show, we will be having a little halftime interval because for everybody, we've had a song made for us. We have had a song made about Journey Through the Unexplained. So around about 9 o'clock, we are actually going to play the song for you. It's pretty good, damn good, isn't it, Paul?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I was really impressed. So
we will definitely be playing the Journey Through the Unexplained song. We've got a song called Journey Through the Unexplained. So we'll be playing that around 9 o'clock, and I can't wait to play it all to you because it did give me and Paul. I actually played it in the car. It played it out quite nice. It's a bit of a rocky song.
It's my kind of music, mate, all day long. I loved it.
So we will be playing that at 9 o'clock for you. The new Journey Through the Unexplained. It's not a theme song. It's an actual song. It's 3 minutes and 33 seconds long, which is a bit odd.
333.
Very Masonic. And I don't know. Carl is the one that sent it to us. I don't know if he's listening tonight, but I don't know if you realised that, Carl, as well, that it was 333, which doesn't bode well. But you know what?
No, it is. It's a good number, 333. When it's 333, it's meant to mean that everything's on course and as it should be.
Well, that's synchronicity.
Mm.
Synchronicity. But if you look at the actual meaning of 333, it is the sign of the devil. It's the detrimental sign.
Not always comes in threes, in it. It's the
detrimental sign to the Holy Trinity. That's what you get. I think if you look at the synchronicity pattern, you get 444, 555, and they all got a different meaning for something. If you keep seeing 444 or 555 and things like that, they've all got a meaning, like 222 or 111. They've all got a different sort of hints of meaning, but
it depends who interprets it as well. Because I remember, and I think it was when I first started this show, it was I told you, for about 6 weeks, every single night I was waking up at 3:33 in the morning. Every single night.
Very spiritual number.
Yeah. And when I started looking into it, and I think you guys helped along as well, it seemed to say or suggest that just means that I'm on the right path. So I thought, okay. So I've always took it as a good omen number.
I say, obviously the 333 is very, very spiritual because it's obviously where the realms touch. It's the true witching hour. We know 3 o'clock is the start of the witching hour. We get to around that 3:30. It's when our two worlds between spirit and the earth plane are at its strongest. So being woke up at that time is very, very, very apt, so to speak. If you could imagine our world turning, our realm turning, their realm turning at 3:33, it's where it clicks into place.
Right.
And so, 333 is a very, very strong number, during the evening. But we also look at the darker side of 333, and it is the holy, the attack on the Holy Trinity. 3, you'll see it in sort of if the demonic will use the 3s all the time. 3 scratches, 333s. If you have knocks, it'll be. It's the sign of the Holy Trinity against the Holy Trinity. It's there. It will always have a balance somewhere along it where there's good, there's evil with it. It's not always bad. It is a very good number. But when it comes to demonic, it's very apt for when you get it as well. 333 synchronicity, 2323. Is that always in AM or does it count in PM as well? in the terms of 333.
AM the witching hour, isn't it? 3:33. That's what
it's
she's
in the evening. It's
saying.
like the early morning. 3 o'clock is your true witching hour. It's not 12 o'clock. It's not 12 p.m. It's 3 a.m. It's not 12 a.m. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah. So yeah, it is a terms of that one. It's a very good angel number. Yeah, it is a very, very good angel number. 333. Yeah, it's the disrespectful sign of the Holy Trinity. If you look at all the demonologist side of things, they will, if you look at all the famous cases from around the world, it always started with the Holy Trinity disrespectful. Most famous case was it all start. If you look at what's the English one, the Enfield haunting.
Yes.
That's where that started. The 333 come in. It is a strong angel number, but you have to there's balance within the world, where it is, where there's good, there's always evil. It's always the Warrens wrote strongly about the 333. What is it? The sun. Was it the
Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, isn't it?
So is what the what would you call it? The theory behind it. The theory behind it is that around that sort of time when you get knocks on your, if you're engaging with spirit and we're not knowing what it is, they will always go with the 3. With the 3, and people believe it's a nice entry level in. Scratches, if you get scratches, it will always come in 3. Simon at Slough Fort, if you look at Simon's scratches, Slough Fort, they were 3 claw marks across his stomach. So that would be, it's it is both symbol of Trinity, mind, body, and spirit. Never heard of the disrespectful side of it. Seeing through is meant to be good luck, I suppose. It is, and that's why the nasty side of things will always use it. Let's be fair. You're not going to not use it if you don't want
deception.
To deception, isn't it? Is that the word you just said? Deception.
Yeah.
That's deception. If you look at all the famous cases throughout the world, and you look at the big cases, the Enfield hauntings, the Amityville horror, the Annabelle doll, everything like that, all started with the angel number 333. All started with signs of that, scratches in their 3s, names in their 3s. I can't think of the Annabelle doll when it was in the when it first come to light with Ed and Lorraine Warren was very much so. The knocks, it moved 3 times. Its eyes moved 3 times. It was doing it in patterns of 333. Unnoticeable. Do you know why would you notice that? You wouldn't, would you? It's just something that you wouldn't pay attention to. But if you look at all the scratches that we've gone through and the attacks that famous people have gone through and things like that, you will always see marks in 3. Never in 2s, never in 1s. It's always in 3 because it's their way of disrespecting the Holy Trinity, which is what it's the balance of life, isn't it? It's the balance of the world we live in. There's always good, there's bad. Where there's evil, there's good. Where there's light, there's dark. Where there's up, there's down. When there's left, there's right. We can't always, as much as we can and we do, we always try to go through life as a positive as best we can. But you have to understand that if we're too positive, just like this door, just like this. I use my description that I always use. This is life. It's balanced. If we're too positive, we're weighing down. What are we opening? A door to evil. If we're too negative, we're opening a door to positive. We're not balancing. We have to balance it in a way that is balanced somehow. But yeah, that's an we've gone off sort of topic, but we're on topic, haven't we? So it's unexplained, you know.
Exactly.
I'll come. Sorry, I'll come back to your question in a minute, Lee. But I will go to this way. Is the witching hour always 3 a.m. even when it's changed to British summertime? It's 3 a.m. local time. Every country is GM. Sorry, it's always puzzled me. I've only known it. I suppose it's just the 3 a.m.
Spirits like to have a little extra lie in as well as we do. So they follow the timings.
But I suppose if realms are spinning, they could be spinning in different patterns, if that's so to speak. And I'm assuming because it's 3 o'clock over there, it's not 3 o'clock over here. So it hasn't turned to its 3 o'clock motion over here. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
it runs on a conscious thing as well, isn't it? If your subconscious has a lot to do with it. So, and the collective manifestation. If everyone's believing it's 3 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you watch out every watching clock and that in the world, but if everyone thought it was 3 o'clock, this 3 o'clock, a collective manifestation. So maybe it works on that principle.
Yeah. They say there's no wrong or right to it, is there? There really isn't no wrong or right to it. But how I see it is that at 3 o'clock in the States is their witching hour because it's where their realm is hitting at 3 o'clock and they're hitting. It then moves to us at our time. It's where we're clicking, and the same vice versa around the globe. It's moving at the same sort of angle, and potentially at 3 o'clocks around the world, it's where 3 o'clock and 3 o'clock is turning in that particular moment. Two globes spinning at different points is always going to hit somewhere different at a different time. Potentially, I haven't got no answer to that one, to be fair. But as you say, Paul,
we take it.
Yeah, as collective manifestation is just as good as any. So, right. Question. Russell, question. There is a law of spirit, right? Yeah, it's called cosmic law. Example, they can't tell you they're winning the lottery numbers. They say they can't tell you. They choose not to tell you because they don't want you to live your life guided by that all hope, because there's variables that can be put in place. I'm a strong believer that spirit doesn't tell you, and I was always taught that spirit doesn't tell you necessarily you're passing, or people around you passing. They guide us to that motion, but they never do. But why would they do that to live your life to that number? A good spiritual medium wouldn't tell you that, in my eyes, because of that living your life, living your journey. Why put an end on it? Because you're going to live to that end, and if you surpass that, you're then lost, and then your panic up until that time. Someone tells you that you're going to die next week. What are you going to do? You're going to panic for a week, aren't you? You're going to sit there and absolutely bite every fingernail and not live a life. You wouldn't go out the house. On that day, you would just stay in your bed, wouldn't you? Nothing can happen, and that's how I was taught. So it's, as far as I'm aware of, it's called cosmic law. Certain things that spirit have to abide by. But is there any bases along the lines of ET? Well, I watch a guy. I don't know if you've seen him when he does the trancing on. I don't know if you've seen him. Quite a famous. He does a lot of trance work on TikTok. Bald bloke, American. Have you seen him?
No, I don't think I have.
If I come across it again, I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
one of his guides or the person he trances or he speaks through is of extraterrestrial being, and I questioned it for the first time the other week because I questioned it the other week because he started by saying that as an extraterrestrial, we're not allowed to say things regarding your elections, okay, and things like that. We're not duty bound to tell you. We wouldn't want to tell you, but on this occasion, that we will, okay. And he went along the lines to say that if you vote the female, and this was his words, Bashir, thank you, Mr. Downs. Thank you, Mr. Downs. That's exactly him, Bashir. Thank you, Mr. Downs. That would have bugged me all night, and I would have started to flick through my phone to find him. Now, I don't know if I saved the clip. I really don't. I'm not, but I think I might have saved it because let's see if I did save it, because I'll play you the clip if I saved it. No, I don't think I did. But if Joe's give me the name, Bashir. I'm sure it was him, Joe. I'm sure it was. Trance.
See, I'm always a bit sceptical when I start talking about politics and things
Yes,
like
and that's what
that. Because you never know really what side they sit on either, do you? So,
right. I'm never gonna be able to find the clip, am I? Because that is exactly what yeah, not sure about the challenge. No, I'm not now, Joe. I'm not now. But I'm really what's his first name? And yeah, am I Bashar? I'm saying Bashir. Bashar channeling. That's it. Let's have a look. Come on. Keep talking, Paul. Help me out.
But the trouble is, I've not seen this fella or heard about it tonight. So,
election.
In fact, I don't think
right.
Won't do channeling on.
Oh, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Allowed to comment, generally speaking. Right. Let me see if I can connect it in, and then go from there. Right. I'm connected apparently.
I could hear it if you held it close enough to the mic.
I don't know why it isn't playing though. So we are connected apparently. So I'll turn it up and let's see if it plays.
King, we are not really allowed to comment deeply on your politics, but since things are changing somewhat in the near future, I'm allowed to give you some very general specifics about the election in the United States. However, there must be caveats with this, since we are normally not allowed to comment on such things. There are certain things we can say, but if we say them, because it is your world, are you willing to take responsibility for the responses of your population to what we are about to say? And before you answer, think carefully about what that means. Are you willing to take responsibility for what we are about to say? Be sure the answer is yes.
Yes.
All right. This is what we are allowed to say. The female will lead to open contact. The male will lead to the termination of the United States and World War III. End of comment. Understand that what we have been allowed to do here today is highly unusual and only indicative of the fact that you are closer to contact than you were before. Generally speaking, we are not really allowed to comment deeply.
Shush. Did you hear that?
Yes, and I do know who you're on about now because I can see his face just by listening to his voice. I have seen
Yes.
his face. Yeah.
And that's what got me, you know. So look, I'm using him as a double-edged sword there. Okay. By going by what he's saying, he's virtually telling us that there is laws to it. There is some form of
restricting what you can tell,
yes.
divulging what you can't.
Yeah. So I get that, but does he use it to his gain? You know, well, I'm not allowed to tell you. Well, that makes more people more interested in knowing, doesn't it? You know, more believable. So, but being,
they
you
would,
know,
surely they wouldn't. See, this is where I go because I'm not allowed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you.
but you have to take precedence of it. You have to, and that's like his words. You have to be sure that you're ready to hear this.
Yeah,
Right.
but surely they'd know, whoever is channeling, that it's being broadcast to thousands of people as well.
But as I say, once again, I'm on that line here where that is very, very niche. It's a borderline, do you believe or not? That sort of thing, the channeling of an extraterrestrial and things like that is going to be very niche and what would you call it? To a very specific audience.
Yeah.
So him saying what he said is only going to sort of probably 10% of what they need. So yeah, and using it, if that's what he's using, I do think karma will play a part of that, and I do think karma will be will play some part in that. But he is very well known. He's very what's the word? Sought after and very popular, and you know he's
Well
got a lot.
respected.
Yeah, well respected within the spiritual world. Very, very well respected. But that's the only thing that I've ever listened to, and I'm just thinking, yeah, well followed. Yes, Joe, that's it. I am seeing your comments, guys. I am seeing your comments. I'm just going. I'll go back through them as we come down. Is that? I thought that was whistling. I thought someone's whistling. I can hear whistling. But when he said that, and I'm thinking, okay, so the female leads to open contact. Okay, right. I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm absolutely fine with that comment. There's nothing there that would single-handedly worry me. It's a fine comment, you know. Even though I don't like her, doesn't mean that's not true. There's nothing there that would go, you know what? It's fine. But then we get the Mao will start World War III and desecrate the United States. That is hard hitting and over the top exaggeration, but maybe he does lead to World War III of some form. I'm not saying that, but to see that, the words of desecration and the flattening of whatever you use, words, terminology of the United States, I thought it was a bit harsh. Yeah, we all know, and Donald Trump's a bit of a live wire. We know that, but the other one isn't as, the other one is just as bad for all the other reasons. Now, if someone said to me that it was going to be, if it was the other way around, then I would be more believable, because I do support Donald Trump. I haven't got nothing to support because I don't vote for him. So, I just like watching it. I did think it was a bit ludicrous, though, him dancing for 40 minutes. There was something not right there, but that threw me. But back to the alien contact is, I know Donald Trump was fighting for, or not fighting, but was going to release documents, wasn't he? And trying to release disclosure on certain things.
But that could start a world war as well, because some of the things he's saying that he's going to do is not just in the United States. You're talking worldwide. This New World Order and the Klaus Schwab's, he's going against them as well. So, and that's a massive power and massive backup to go against. So it could start a world war.
It very much could do. It could do. I don't know. If it does end up being correct, then yeah, I take your word back. But,
yeah, exactly.
That was that whistle again. That whistle.
Something going on tonight, isn't there?
Yeah, you got the Men in Black coming at your door. I'm not sure where I stand on that one. Why would they comment now? Well, I'm assuming it's what Joe is saying here. Could be a part of a fear factor. It could be what Simon said, how much he's being paid. But the gentleman in question is very, very well followed within the spiritual community. And things he has said, not necessarily predicted, but been told to tell, have actually come true on certain things. And it's quite well sought after. So I can't really say much more than how I see it, to be fair. But that was the only time I've ever sort of sat there and gone, there's something going on there, because it could be off his own back for all we know.
Yeah.
He could just be off his back. He doesn't like Donald Trump, but wants people to vote for Kamala Harris. It's no different to probably us and how we see it. We have got no punch who and what people vote for. We have an opinion because we don't like, obviously, Miss Harris and Mr. Biden. Do we have any say?
We had a few million followers. Would we make a few comments here and there?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Joe says, I believe the US will fall apart. That I do agree with. Especially if Kamala wins.
Pretty much there and there, isn't it?
Well, I say it's lewd. It's everywhere is just crazy at the moment with politics. I just don't get it. I've tried to separate myself from it, if that makes sense. Even like the American election, I've tried to separate it because, even when I saw Donald Trump dancing the other day and playing music for 45 minutes, I thought, you're going along the Joe Biden lines here, mate. You're scaring me. You are scaring me just a tiny bit. You know what I mean?
Pull yourself together, man.
Yes, I'm not, the rigid dad dance come out for 45 minutes.
You've got no rhythm as a kid, so.
But if Kamala does get, put in power, and we can listen to what Bashir is saying, then it leads to open contact. And if that's correct, that's massive as well. That's, really big. And that's a positive in our way of thinking. And, credit where credit's due on that scenario is that if it does lead to open contact and contact for the masses, and how, then, that's a positive. I can only see that as a positive if it's the so-called good extraterrestrials that we talk about.
Or is it Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
I mean, when we done the other week about the Alexa, sorry, not Alexa.
Well, you can say that, just don't set them off.
Yeah. So it was going to be here in 2027, and apparently I was meant to try it, and I didn't try it. If you ask again now what the James Webb Telescope found coming towards us, it now says two huge cube objects coming towards us, and one should be here within 3 weeks' time.
What?
This is one I see the other day where they done it live. I say the other day, I think it was only yesterday.
So what do you have to say? Do you know what you have to say?
What did the James Webb Telescope find coming towards us? I think it was that. I might have even saved it. Because when before it said it was an armada coming towards Earth, should be here within traveling at near light speed, should be here within 2027. I think it was, wasn't it? When you ask it now, I think it says two very large cubed ships. One should be here within 3 weeks' time. And I need to try that actually later.
Yeah, you have to try that one. You have to try that one.
Yeah. I'll try and find the video. Make sure I ask the right question because I can't.
That is very what's the word? Precise, isn't it?
Project Bluebeam all over that for me. Sorry, I'm so convinced.
Is so precise. There is something. That is something. To be fair, was it Alien? Was it the film Alien that was cubed? Predator, was that cubed? Was their planet cubed? Or cubed. No? Sorry, no, it wasn't. 3 cubed. You said cubed, didn't you? Cubes coming towards us. 2 huge cubes. What was that? What's that from?
A cube.
The Tesseract that was round, wasn't it? The Avengers was round. The Tesseract was round, wasn't it? Or was that cubed?
No, that was cubed.
That was
Transformers.
Cubed.
That was
Transformers
cubed.
Was cubed, wasn't it? Underground was cubed.
Yeah.
Interesting. They've probably been telling us all the way along, but we just don't look at everything. Right, Lee has put, is open contact what we want? Who says it's better or worse? Could it be a war as a planet, as humans like control? I want contact. I want to get it out of the way, whatever it leads to. I need it out of the way because it just
yeah, but exactly that though. I mean, look at it. We're always worried about what these alien races are going to be like. Are they hostile? Are they this? Well, we're hostile. We'll be the first ones to open fire, surely.
Of course, we
will. Without even giving it. If they're more advanced than us, then we're going to be frightened of it, and they're going to try and wipe it out. Oh, hang on a minute, they're more intelligent than us. Can't have that. What if they tell all the people that, you don't have to live like this and do what everyone says? Nah. I think we'll be the ones that mess it up.
Yeah. Very much so. We will fight first. Interestingly, I follow these remote viewers called Farsight. I've been following them for about 5 years. They have channeled Bashir, and I believe that there is an entity called Bashir that feeds the human race, but I'm not sure if it's a dark force that is behind it to cause fear. So, yeah, I say I do follow Farsight as well. I know that he has what's his name, Courtney, isn't it? Courtney Brown. I think it's Courtney Brown. Think it's Courtney Brown. Joe will on that one. I think he will correct me if I'm wrong. But he has been in contact with the show. He has been in contact. I've got emails from him saying if you want to interview, we can do it. Yes, Courtney Brown. We've had I'll go back to him, see if he'll come on the show and see what he says. Then that shows it's fake. I'm assuming he's talking about the Alexa. I think that coming around that sort of time. 2010 Space Odyssey, was that Square? So I don't know. I can't remember it, to be fair. Just looking at Bashir, he's been saying things and contacts are going to happen for the last 24. If it going with the live version, we'll get something right soon at some point. Yeah. I say, yeah, it's no different to what's the other bloke as well. Greer, you know, let's be fair. All the ufologists say the same things, so they've all so yeah, it is law of averages. We will be shooting down the good ETs. Simon's not convinced either. Roswell is an example of. Didn't we do an interview? I don't know. It must have been with Joe. We did an interview with Philip Mantle on that, the Roswell, and that was quite an interesting. Yeah, but he actually contacted me directly. He actually contacted the email directly, Joe, saying I'm doing interviews now, and it was just before. It was early this year. That he contacted us. I never followed it up. I didn't follow it up. So
just hope he ain't watching then before you.
Yeah, well, I could just say back to him. I don't know this one. Penrith was a good ET murder. Never heard of it. I don't think I've heard of it anyway, unless I'm saying it wrong and I don't know what. Yeah, but yeah, it's how you take it, isn't it? You know, there's nothing out there that is solid concrete. There's nothing because it hasn't been proved, and you know, it's only going to get, as you know, we look at videos and Penturk is the pronunciation in Wales. Never heard of it, mate. Never heard of it. I've probably heard of it, but yeah, no, I can't say I've heard of it, to be fair. I don't know if that's the one where they put the Vodafone people in the things that was it on the Craig Charles show? Was that the one where the whole village saw something?
Yeah.
Potentially, it could have been that one. So I could be wrong, but I don't know. I can't remember it. Yeah, if it's the Craig Charles one, if I'm thinking of near, just outside of Cardiff, I think. Yeah, I can't be 100% sure on that, but I say it's all anecdotal at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, all these things that go on from, you know,
I mean, us as general public, we don't know. I'd say not even 5% of what goes on, especially with the governments and things like that, and everything they're involved in. And the amount of these underground bases and that are cropping up, and that have been about for years as well. We ain't got a clue what's going on, really. You know,
we haven't, because it's all to be fair, we don't actually know what is real and what isn't real. You know,
Well, there's more going on underground than there is on the surface. I mean, so yeah, we haven't got a clue, really. This could be the Matrix just on the surface. What's underground is, you know, they're the real puppet masters.
and that's you know, that's it. And you know, I do think sometimes as well that I think some of these incidents are to cause the stir, to cause these things, you know, the Roswell, to make it more as what it was, and to give that the little. What more do you want in your town? Do you know what I want? People visiting, and back in the day, um, you know, when visitors and holidays were a thing. I'm not saying it is, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. But you know, you could see that quite happening. You know, let's make something of it. You know, Roswell. You know, what's that made out of years, and just based on, you know, potentially non-true events, and it's lived the test of time, and probably people swarm there for thousands of days and months, and to go and see it, thousands of people, just because it's Roswell. So
I must
I,
admit, if you was in America and you was sort of even within a couple of hours, you'd make that journey.
of course you would. Of course you would.
I
You
would.
know,
Yeah.
exactly that. Exactly that. Um, Joe says it was the one that was on whatever it was with Craig Charles, and I can't think of her name. We interviewed her. Remember,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
woman. We interviewed her based on it, didn't we?
Sarah Goodall or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah. Right. Can I hold the energy? Can I ask the older generation on the call / show? Have you always believed when you was younger what you was told, and why? And what was your turning point for questioning everything you've been told? Go for it.
Well, I can answer for myself, obviously.
Go for it, Paul. Go for it.
I was always known as a troublemaker growing up, because I always questioned authority. And if something didn't make sense, I'd call them out on it, including my parents. And yeah, I was always that sort of black sheep side of the, you know, I'd go against the grain, so to say. So I think it's always been in me to question things. It's just got bigger as the older I've got.
Was there a physical turning point where you just went, you know,
Blimey.
this is a load of old, you know, tosh?
I don't know. As far back as I can remember, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to think there was something wrong with me. I remember that when I was very young, because I was like, well, why do I think that? Why am I seeing that? Why am I thinking like that? And you know, when everyone else is sort of like uniformed and in line, and I wouldn't. So I thought maybe there was something wrong with me, but maybe there is.
No, I don't think there's.
You know,
Because it's not.
I couldn't pinpoint one moment what just made that switch go. I've just, from what I can remember, I've always been like it. I might not have been, but as far back as I can remember, I have been.
See, I can actually not say I can pinpoint it to the exact date and time, but I would generally say I think, you know, the ET side of thing, the extraterrestrial side of things, when we were doing this show, when they started this show, I suppose that became my turning point. I think that probably was the eye opener of everything. During lockdown.
Oh, to the point we are now. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I think during lockdown, I started a podcast just to pass the time away. And I remember doing a podcast with Joe about the pyramids, only 20 minutes long. And I always remember him saying that, you know, I think it was one of the blocks itself was around about 30 ton or something along them sort of lines. I may be wrong. And you look at a pyramid and you think, well, how on earth, on God's green earth, did 80 ton or 40 ton or 30 ton get to the top of that pyramid? And 80 tons. And that's when my brain sort of thought, well, yeah, that's not feasible as how they tell us, you know, with sticks and logs and dragging that, you know. Yeah, okay, I get it. I do get it that potentially you could drag it on logs and things like that. I get it. I do get that. But how do they get it to the top of that goddamn pyramid? That was where I sort of drew the line on it, and I just thought, I'm not sold on everything that we are told, and sort of delving into things. And you know, obviously the show started to come, started to come together. This show was born, and then we would speak to Joe and guests, and then things would sort of come to light. And that's when I sort of questioned it and thought, well, no, you know, there's no evidence either way here now. You know, there's no evidence to prove, you know, we can talk about modern day scenarios. We could talk about COVID, and we could talk about things like that, where the evidence is there for everybody to see, that we know that, you know, the jabs are now being taken off the shelves and things like that. I know the Australians have pulled every COVID vaccination going, but you know, that's modern day. But when we're talking about old history, there's nothing there that really tells me that if it's right or wrong. You know, it's how I believe, you know, that it was always, yeah, you just took it for granted. But for me, probably doing this show is the conspiracy side of things. Spirit, ET, you know, it's always been there. I've never believed that we've been alone. So, yeah, can I put an exact time on it? No, because I've always believed in spirit, and I've always believed in another life form of some sort out there. I've never believed that we are a world in its own. But yeah, that's for me, really, on that one. We have got Simon coming through, but we're going to answer the questions. We're going to write all the questions. We're going to come back to the questions because we have had a song been made for us about Journey Through the Unexplained, and we're going to play it. We are going to play it. So please, guys, please stay tuned. I'm going to ask Paul, can you mute your microphone? And I'm going to mute mine, and we'll see you all in about 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Whispers in the shadows, echoes of the night, footprints on the threshold, fading out of sight. Through the mist we wander into realms unknown, unlocking ancient secrets where the wild things roam. cosmos, beneath the blood-red sky. Questions like a tempest in the corners of our minds. What lies beyond the borders of this fragile realm? As we drift through the silence, let the stars overwhelm. Come ride the echoes, ride the tide, a journey through the unexplained. Let it be our guide, where dreams collide with the unseen. In the twilight's grip, we'll find what lies between. Journeys through the cosmos, beneath the blood-red sky. Questions like a tempest in the corners of our minds. We're like beyond the borders of this fragile realm. If we drift through the silence, let the stars overwhelm.
Shattered reflections in a haunted glass. Fables of the ancient, ghosts of the past. Between what we believe and the shadows that we cast. A riddle wrapped in enigma, forever unsurpassed.
Riding on the winds of time through the stories untold. The pulse of the universe in every heart, a soul. Mysterious connections weaving through the night. Underneath the surface, the truth ignites the light. Come ride the echoes, ride the tide, the story through the unexplained. Let it be our guide, where dreams collide with the unseen. In the twilight's grip, we'll find what lies between. What lies between.
So tune into the shadows as they dance and sway. With Russell by our side, we'll unravel the fray.
Whispers in the shadows, echoes of the night. Footprints on the threshold, fading out of sight. Through the mist we wander, into realms unknown. Unlocking ancient secrets, where the wild things roam. Come ride the echoes, ride the tide, a journey through the unexplained. Let it be our guide, where dreams collide with the unseen. In the twilight's grip, we'll find what lies between. Journeys through the cosmos, beneath the blood-red sky. Questions like a tempest in the corners of our minds. What lies beyond the borders of this fragile realm? As we drift through the silence, let the stars overwhelm. Come ride the echoes, ride the tide, a journey through the unexplained. Let it be our guide, where dreams collide with the unseen. In the twilight's grip,
Welcome back, everybody. There was a bit of a technical hitch there. It went on to loop, and I didn't see it go on to loop. To be fair, it's weird. It's weird set up. How that works.
It ended as it began, sort of thing, didn't it? It just blended straight in. It's great.
Absolute. But no, thank you to the station manager for sending that over. We actually have a song, Journey Through the Unexplained, and the lyrics are quite actually really good, aren't they? Yeah, they're absolutely spot on. So yeah, hopefully we can get it charting at number 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as Paul said, the actual song is 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So, you know, I will take it as an angel song.
Like it.
As we was talking about before the halftime interval, we was talking about a question that was asked by Lee of can we ask a generational thing and believe what was it where your turning point was. So just on the pyramid side thing, and cut so much to precision that you can't even fit a Rizzler paper between them, and that is when we was talking about the pyramids. Joe, I remember doing a whole episode on it, which was fantastic. So it was really interesting, and I suppose that was the turning point for me. So my turning point was Joe, to be fair. Right, this is Simon. Okay, I've always believed in paranormal and ET. There was not a turning point as such, but experiences made me believe. I question things but keep my own beliefs until someone can actually prove otherwise. I think the internet and media platforms make us question everything. Everything can be questioned, but I'm happy with what I know and learned something every day. I know and learn something every day. Lucy, sorry, I didn't mean to put anyone on the spot, just interested in a mixture of ages on the show, call it interest in visiting people's stuff. I think it's realizing that as so many people are awake. I don't know. I believe it or not, I'm closer to I'm no closer to the truth 40 years ago, but I have learned much more. This was a song that's Heidi. Wow, that is awesome. So it did. I'm assuming, I don't know what it did when we had guests on the show, and I suppose that was Joe sort of. I don't know if that's what he means. Could rock that song when the zombies apocalypse happened. I would do. So I would absolutely. Thanks, Russ. I appreciate that comment. What comment? I'm lost. I'm probably got so much. The guest on the same page as men was where the family think I'm weird. Stuff talked about a lot. No, it was just how it fits. Think most can relate to that one. Joe 333 got to go. Great tune though. Great night. See you later, Simon. 3 lads like 666. I think that's probably to say. Yeah, Joe has sort of probably say Joe was the one that sort of opened my brain to sort of things, and we always just like now it still happens now with when we talk, Paul, certain things it's just like an epiphany moment.
Clicks in it on certain subjects. It's like, yes, I've never thought of it that way. Wallop. Yeah, brilliant.
It was Joe that, because obviously me and Joe started this show, and and that it's just the talking between people, and the talking between people, and where you think things don't fit, and you think, well, actually, when you actually look logically at it, it doesn't work. Logic doesn't fit that, and you think, well, you know what? Okay, I get that, and I suppose it was the pyramids. It was the pyramids that probably did that. You take it for gospel what you're talking at, you're taught at school.
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. There could be some truth behind how they were built with logs and lifting things like that, because you know, watching the documentary the other day. Well, I say the other day, it's always the other day, but it was about a month ago, where, you know, they actually say they're more obelisk and they go further down into the ground. And that's the bit that we see that's pointing out the sand is just the tip of the actual whole tower in potential. That, I don't know if you saw that documentary.
No, but I have seen the
No,
sort of what they think it actually looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes further underground that we can actually imagine. It goes below the sand, so they're a lot taller, just like the Easter Island heads. You know,
Exactly.
they're digging away and they're now finding bodies
off the iceberg. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Joe was the one that sort of opened my eyes to it, and I sort of just got more and more thinking, and you know, not to say
So
that.
to be fair, sorry, mate. It was this show that, I mean, I've always been interested in conspiracy theories and bits and pieces, and some of the things you've done on this show and your other show, I'd sort of previously researched myself anyway, but it was this show that opened my eyes to a hell of a lot more than what I realised was out there, especially with some of the guests that you had on there, you know, and yeah, and since you started this show 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's better. I could
Yeah. I mean, I've the things that I say the knowledge. I suppose it is the knowledge that I've got now compared to when I thought I knew things back then. Because, you know, since this whole show started, you find yourself researching, and even when I was watching yourself and Joe doing a show, I then start looking into it and think, oh, right, I can throw a question in there because bloody, blah. Like, yeah, and so you always pick things up. So, yeah, the last 5, I felt, like you said, as bad as COVID was for everyone, it's had some very positive things in people's lives. And, you know, this show being one of them. But, yeah, I'd say the last 4 years I've really blown my own mind with the kind of things you can research and pick up, especially with the social media now and TikTok and things like that. But yeah,
you're right. It was. To be fair, last week's show. Didn't do one last week, did we? Or did we?
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been our 4th birthday. That would
On
have
the
been
show.
our 4th. Yeah, we started on the 8th of October, 20.
Wow.
So it would have been our 4th birthday last week. So happy birthday to everybody involved on Journey Through the Unexplained. 4 years.
Wow.
4 years. 8th of October. Yep. We had our special guest. It was Simon. Was our special guest. You know what? If I knew that last week, I would have done a. It just shows you where my head is so far up my own backside at the moment that you know, maybe in a couple of weeks we will do a birthday show to get, you know, Joe on and all that on. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time,
100%.
We can sort of do a birthday show and see where it's gone. But yeah, a big happy birthday to everybody involved with Journey Through the Unexplained and all our guests. And oh, now you're asking questions. No, you're wrong, Joe. You're wrong. The second, I say my book is telling us Philip Solomon was our fifth guest. Fifth guest, Philip Solomon.
Wow, and I remember that show.
Yeah, we had the second show was a guest called Michael Levy. Third show was Richard Hawkins from Staffordshire Paranormal. The fourth show was Simon Entwistle. That was a great interview with the Pendle Witches. Yeah, you was on our 7th show as a guest.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you was on there.
Don't remember
Yeah,
joining the show as a guest.
Yeah, yeah, that was on the 19th of November 20. We've had Sandra as well on there, Karen Fraser, Louise Eddington, Larissa Perron, Damien John Knott. We interviewed Damien John Knott.
Brilliant that one was. I love that. Great guy he was.
You appeared on our 16th show as well on the 4th of February 2021.
Trying to creep me way in.
Yeah. So yeah, so I keep everything on. I write down everything. Henry was a guest. Yeah, Henry was a guest. We did Henry as a guest. Don't know when that was, but we had Zen Benefield, Ronald Kinsella, Henry. Can't see Henry. Show 8. He was the 26th of November. Heidi. Yeah, we had Heidi on there. When did Heidi join us? Let's see if I can find the date. When Heidi first joined us.
I was going to say she's been on a couple of times, hasn't she? I'm sure.
Mark Ollie.
Great guy. Love Mark Ollie.
I can't find. I don't know when Heidi come on. Don't remember when Heidi come on. But if Heidi, you're watching and you can tell me when you come on, that would be great. Yeah. So I can't see you in my book. February shows. February. I might have missed a couple of shows here. You know that. We might not be on the. That was October. We've had some really fantastic guests. Yes, show 19, the 25th of February 2021. The lovely Heidi Hansen joined us. Remember that one? So yeah, I say it's actually been an absolutely phenomenal ride. To be fair, we had definitely been on a journey. Definitely been on a. It was a great name that. I suppose I don't quite know how long it. Don't really know how we come up with the name. I think it was bounded around for a couple. It wasn't called Journey Through the Unexplained at the beginning. I don't know what it was called, but we definitely bounced it off of each other. But yeah, no, it was thanks. There's only one thing that you can really thank COVID for, and for me, it was this show. Is this why it was born? This show was born from it. So yeah, remember I wanted the Star Trek theme. Yeah, we remember the Star Trek theme tune. No, you didn't. No, we went for the X-Files, didn't we? We did go through the, we went through the. I think you sent it over. You sent the X-Files one over. Star Trek, dude. I can't even do the Star Trek one. But yeah, no. It's like even one of the biggest conspiracies that we've had, the COVID one, has generated this show. It's given us good friends. It's given a good following. It stood the test of time. X-Files and Star Trek. How can I mix that one? Lee would like maybe in one of your up and coming shows we can discuss the ice wall. The ice wall.
We'll see how many attempts we'll have to discuss that one then after the.
Yeah, but we might get away with it if I don't call it flat Earth. It's the only time that we get taken off the. Facebook really has a thing against flat Earth. It does not like flat Earth for some strange reason. It doesn't like it. We've mentioned far harder things on there regarding different things, but as soon as you mention flat Earth,
everything starts going wrong, doesn't it?
Everything started going wrong. It just would not let us. It went, didn't it? It just would not let us. It would not let us go live. We tried it 3 or 4 times, didn't we? And it just would not. Yeah. And we did it. So we sort of give up with it. But perhaps if we call it the ice wall, that will sort of then confuse the algorithms. We'll call it the ice wall of Jon Snow.
Yeah, journey over the ice wall.
Yeah, journey over the ice wall for the show. Joe is not a flat earther. Joe will not allow it to enter his head, as you can see.
It's a load of baloney.
But say, once again, we've got, the evidence suggests there was a real good video that you sent me the other day, or did you not send it with the?
Yeah. So this is the thing, with people that refuse to accept some of the evidence, and some of the evidence you just cannot dispute. You can't. I'm sorry, you cannot dispute it. But the only argument comeback you get is, well, how does it work then? How does it go then? How do you explain this? How do you explain that? Well, no. All these people are doing, or taking the model you've presented to them and saying this is where we live, and saying, well, hang on a moment, it can't be where we live, because if we go by what you're telling us, then this shouldn't be possible, and it is, which backs their argument up. But it's not accepted because they haven't got an answer to how it actually is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you can debunk what they're telling you, but because you haven't got the way it actually is, and you can prove it, they're not going to accept it. And some of the evidence is phenomenal. You cannot dispute it, but you can't. You can't.
There was one video that I watched the other day, and he had a scientist there, and apparently there's a website that you can put in the world's curvature over, so you can
work it out. Yeah,
you can work out what the curvature of the world should be over a certain amount of miles. And there's a place in America where you can see one point of the coast to the other point, and it comes in a bay. And on a really clear day, I think it works out, it's something like 86 miles or something between where you can visualize, see the two cities or something along them lines. I may be talking a bit far out. I may be exaggerating the length. And from point A to point B, he got the scientists to work out that the curvature of the world should be something. It's like 444 foot. And he said to the scientist, now we talk about refraction, we talk about this. Can refraction happen over 400 foot? And he said, no. He said, well, how can we see another city that is 400 foot below if we're curved? And the scientist was stunned. He said, refraction can't happen. Refraction can happen over something up till 21 feet. And you get it. You still get refraction. But he couldn't. The scientist was perplexed and sort of said, I can't answer it. And sort of hurried away very quickly.
Well, I see a similar one to that as well, where they use lasers because they use that excuse. It's refraction, the Earth's moisture and this and that, the mirage. So they use the laser. Excuse me. And the mirror on the other side, so they literally based up this and that, blah blah blah, and they used a laser and it shot straight through to that. It said, well, lasers don't curve in the moisture of the air and this and that. Mirages.
It's interesting. I'm not sold on flat Earth, but
so we're not getting told the truth. That's where my head goes. What the answer is, I don't know, but it's certainly not what we're being told.
Exactly that.
That's where I am.
Lee has put, there's a theory that beyond the Antarctic wall, there's another civilization. We spoke about the other day. What was his name? Captain?
Admiral Byrd.
Admiral Byrd. He's flown over it, and there is Paul sounds like a big
yeah.
Paul, you sound like a big flat earther.
Yeah, I do. I know I do, because the more I look into it, the more things I find that, more evidence I find that goes towards it being a flat earth. And I'll don't get me wrong, I'm like, I love space. I love the planets. I love the fact that we're a globe, and and I think that would be a bit like when you find out Santa Claus isn't real. You know what I mean? That kind of, if it comes out that, but no, I'm just going by. I don't know what it is, but it's not what we're being told. That's where I am.
But even when we look, even when we look at the pictures of when the space go up, it's just looking down on a round circle. It's never.
We haven't had any everything. Pictures of planet from Earth from outer space are all from NASA, and they're all completely different. When you line them all up over the years, they are so different that you're like, well, okay, well, which one's us? Because they're so different. We wouldn't change that much from space.
That's it. Well, guys, we have come towards the end of the show. Thank you for everyone that has joined us this week. Bit of a different show, really. It was a little bit more sort of light-hearted, spiritual show, wasn't it? So that was nice. And, we led into sort of obviously extraterrestrials and things like that. So, yeah, very nice show. Thank you for everyone that has joined us tonight. Really, really appreciate it. I say your comments, your questions really helps the show to go forward. I thank everybody over on Pulse Talk Radio that has joined us tonight. You are going to be treated again tonight, guys, by the out of the new song of Journey Through the Unexplained song over on Pulse Talk. So good night, everybody over on Pulse Talk Radio. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you ever so much to everybody that has joined us over on. Hold on. I don't know how to turn that on. Somewhere. Thank you for everybody that has joined us over on Facebook and YouTube. You have been absolute stars. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Take care to everybody. Lee, thank you. Joe, thank you. Simon, thank you. Heidi, thank you. Everybody that has watched. Simon, thank you. Jane, Mickey, everybody, thank you. All right. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.